Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into something that, let's be honest, is on every parent's mind. How to build a simple but really powerful nutrition plan for your toddler. We're going to cover everything from the moment they wake up right through to their midday meal. I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? It's a source of so much worry for so many of us. But getting a clear, simple answer can make all the difference in the world. So let's break it down, meal by meal. So, why all the focus on this specific age group? Well, because between 1 and 3, the stakes are just sky high. Your child's brain is developing at this mind-blowing rate. Their immune system is literally being built from the ground up. And this is a big one. The eating habits they form right now can genuinely last a lifetime. Getting this right builds a super strong foundation for their whole future. Okay, so let's start our little tour of a toddler's day right at the beginning, the moment they wake up. What's the very first thing that should go into their little tummy? The key here is to be gentle. Their systems are just waking up. So a small cup of warm milk, a little bit of mashed banana, or some soaked almond paste, if that's right for your child, of course, are all just fantastic ways to ease them into the day without overwhelming their appetite. Now, this is absolutely crucial. If your toddler says no to something, especially milk, please don't turn it into a battle. Every single child has a different appetite, different preferences. Respecting that is how you build a healthy, happy relationship with food right from the start. All right, let's move on to the first major meal of the day, breakfast. It's not just about filling an empty stomach. It's about loading them up with that high-quality energy and all the nutrients they need to play, to learn, and to grow all morning long. And what's so interesting here is this clear difference between fuel and filler. On the left, you've got real fuel, wholesome, homemade things that provide lasting energy. On the right, you have fillers, like packaged biscuits and sugary cereals. They give a quick rush for sure, but they offer very little real nutrition. That choice can really shape their entire morning. So what does a powerhouse breakfast actually look like? Well, it's a pretty simple 3-part formula. You need carbs for that immediate energy, protein for all that growing they're doing, and healthy fats, like ghee, which are just vital for brain development. Seriously, think of it like building the insulation for all their brain's wiring. This chart just shows you perfectly how those 3 things come together for the ideal start. Okay, breakfast is done. Let's move to the next part of our day. What happens in that stretch between the morning meal and lunch? It's just a simple fact of toddler life. Their little tummies burn through fuel so fast. A healthy mid-morning snack isn't a treat. It's an essential tool. It keeps their energy levels from crashing and keeps them happy, bridging that gap to lunchtime. And the best snacks are often the simplest ones. Seasonal fruits, a little boiled sweet potato, maybe a small homemade pancake, all great choices. But the most crucial point always is safety. You have to make sure everything is cut into small, soft, and really manageable pieces. And now we've made it to lunch. If breakfast is the fuel to get the engine started, lunch is the nutritional anchor for the entire day. This is where we really want to bring all the key food groups together in one satisfying meal. This table just lays it out so perfectly. It's not complicated, I promise. You just make sure you have a protein for growth, like dal or paneer, then a variety of colorful veggies for all those vitamins, and finally, a grain or cereal for that steady energy. This simple formula just takes all the guesswork out of it. So we've covered a lot of the what to feed your toddler, but the how is just as important. So let's zoom out for a second and look at the core philosophy that should really guide all of your mealtime decisions. If you only remember 3 things from this whole discussion, make it these 3 golden rules. 1, homemade is always, always better. 2, don't force it, ever. Respect their natural hunger cues. And 3, keep it simple. Food for a toddler should be soft, easy for them to chew, and not loaded with a bunch of spices. Okay, so that covers the entire first half of your toddler's day. But, of course, the day isn't over yet. So, what comes next? Well, in part 2, we are going to cover everything you need to finish the days strong. We're talking evening snacks, a nutritious dinner, tips on water intake, and we'll even go over some of the most common mistakes that parents make. Plus, we're going to put it all together in a full sample daily meal plan for you. Hey everyone, and welcome back. In our last explainer, we really dug into the whole morning routine. Now, we're jumping into the second half of the day, that tricky period leading up to bedtime. We're going to cover everything from smart evening snacks and light dinners to hydration and, honestly, some of the mindset shifts that can make a world of difference. Okay, let's kick things off with a scene that I'm pretty sure we've all lived through. It's late afternoon, dinner is still a little ways off, and your little one just starts to unravel. They get fussy, cranky, and just plain hungry. It can be one of the most stressful parts of the day, for sure, but it really doesn't have to be. So, what's the secret weapon? It's a well-timed, healthy evening snack. And look, this isn't about ruining their appetite for dinner. Not at all. It's about bridging that hunger gap in a really smart, nutritious way that honestly just keeps everyone a lot happier. So what kind of snack are we talking about? Well, this really breaks it down. On the left, you've got these awesome, nourishing options. Maybe some milk with a little macana powder, roasted foxnut powder, or a fruit smoothie, or even a homemade treat like a low-sugar laddu. These things give steady, reliable energy. Then on the right, well, you see the usual suspects. Chips, salty snacks, sugary, bakery stuff. They just give a quick sugar rush followed by a crash, which is the last thing you want right before dinner. Okay, so we've got snack time handled. Now let's move on to the main event, dinner itself. The big idea here, especially for young kids, is to keep it light. You want something that's really easy for their developing digestive systems to handle before they go to sleep. Here's the thing. A super heavy fried meal at night makes their little bodies work overtime when they should be resting, and that can totally mess with their sleep. So instead, think simple and comforting. Look at the options on the left. A soft khichdi, which is just a great mix of rice and lentils, or a nice warm vegetable soup. They're both super nourishing without being heavy, which is exactly what you want for a good night's rest. All right, let's switch gears for a second and move away from solid food. Because good nutrition isn't just about what a child eats, it's also about what they drink. And proper hydration, it's absolutely fundamental. It's a total non-negotiable for their health. I know, it sounds so basic, right? But it's the absolute foundation of everything. Making sure they're getting enough water all throughout the day is so crucial for their digestion, their energy, you name it. But what about other drinks? This is where we need to be a little bit careful. It's really best to limit things like packed juices. They're often just loaded with sugar. And, surprisingly, even milk needs a cap on it. Why? Well, because their tummies are tiny. Too much milk can fill them up, leaving almost no room for other important nutrient-rich foods. So what's the magic number? The general rule of thumb is to keep their total milk intake under 500 milliliters for the whole day. This way, they get all the good stuff from milk, but it doesn't push out other essential things from their diet, like foods that are rich in iron. Okay, now we're going to shift from the what to the how. And this next section, it is so important because it's all about our mindset. We're going to look at a few common pitfalls that, once you're aware of them, can seriously transform mealtimes for the better. And please remember, the point here is not to feel guilty or to judge ourselves, not at all. It's just about understanding our kids' behavior and our own, so we can create a really positive, stress-free vibe around food. Oh man, this is a big one. Forcing a child to eat, that whole just one more bite thing, it can really backfire. It can create these negative feelings about food and meal times, and it kind of teaches them to ignore their own body's signals for when they're hungry or full. It's so easy to do, isn't it? You look at another kid who's just inhaling their food, and you start to wonder, what am I doing wrong? But that comparison game, it creates so much unnecessary stress and anxiety for you and for your child. This right here is the truth we all need to hang on to. Every single child has their own unique internal clock for growth, for appetite, and even for what foods they like. Our job is just to trust their individual journey. And think about it, just like us adults, kids have off days. Some days they're just not that hungry. Maybe they're teething, or they feel a little sick, or they're just going through a phase. Realizing that their appetite is going to fluctuate is absolutely key to lowering your stress levels at the dinner table. It's normal. So, how do we pull all of this together? Well, it really all comes down to focusing on the foundation. The habits we help them build in these first few years can truly set the stage for a lifetime of health. Let's look at a super practical example of what a good day might look like. Here we've got milk in the morning, a veggie dosa for breakfast, a banana for a mid-morning snack, then some dal and rice for lunch, and there's our smart evening snack, milk and macana, and then a light khichdi for dinner. But remember, this is just a template. The real goal is to rotate different foods every day to make sure they're getting a ton of variety. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed and just want the bottom line, let it be these 4 things. 1. Prioritize homemade food whenever you can. 2. Aim for balanced nutrition across their meals. 3. Practice patience. So much patience. And 4. Establish a predictable routine. These are the 4 pillars. That's the foundation. And really, this is the ultimate goal. Just let go of the stress about exactly how much they eat at any one meal. If you are consistently offering them good, quality, nourishing food, you are doing an amazing job. The quantity will sort itself out over the day or even over the week. So as we finish up, I want to leave you with this question. This isn't about changing everything all at once. Just think, what is one small, totally manageable change from everything we talked about today that you can try to implement tonight? What's one little thing that could make your family's mealtime just a bit calmer and a bit more positive?